Do you notice something in the background of this photo? You see nothing, right? When I took a longer time exposure of the globe, you can now see stars in the background. We will discuss why moon photos have no stars appearing in the black sky. It has everything to do with exposure from the camera that took the photos, and I'm going to explain here shortly how that works. Available light is also another factor. The foreground is bright enough from the sunlight that the exposure was faster than 1/100th of a second. However, the background stars are not bright enough to be captured on a fast shutter speed. Next is a practical demonstration on how this works. I put some holes in the paper to represent the stars, and I will be putting a light behind it to shine right through. Here's the setup. Camera, a light to shine on the globe, the light behind the paper to create the dim star effect in the background. Alright, let's get started, shall we? One 2/50th of a second of exposure. Notice a black background, no stars, only the globe is lit. At 1/10th of a second, notice the stars in the background that you cannot see before. Bright areas of the globe are also washed out. At 1 second time exposure, the entire globe is washed out. All background details, including stars, are noticeable. In order to get the perfect shot of the moon's surface and its surroundings, the camera had to be adjusted to get the details of the lit areas. An exposure faster than 1/20th of a second will not bring out the dim stars in the background, but the foreground will be bright enough to be captured on film. If the exposure is too long, the foreground will be washed out, but the stars will appear in the photo. Also, if the camera is handheld, there will be camera shake. Here's an example of camera shake. One photo at 1/5th of a second, and the next photo at 1/10th of a second. This is at 1/10th of a second. Still, blurriness is still noticeable when taking the photo handheld. Even for the most still hands, you still need a tripod for anything slower than 1/10th of a second. 1/60th of a second, shutter speed or faster is needed to take sharp photos handheld. Here, I had to adjust the shutter speed to get the full details of the globe. However, on longer time exposures, the bright areas on the globe get washed out, but the background stars are now noticeable. This is the reason stars do not appear on the background of many moon photos. It's all about the exposure.